Hey guys, how's it going? So today, like I said in my last video, I'm going to be sharing with you all the different things that I'm going to be growing in my fall garden. Sorry about the dappled light. I'm sitting under, it's like a big trellis that I have all of my squash growing on. I think it's my favorite part of the garden right now. It's a big archway. I'll show you at the end of this video what it looks like from the outside, and it has two raised beds, and then I'm growing squash up the sides of it, and I have peppers and tomatoes in the beds below them, and it has been so awesome. Above me I actually have in some burlap hammocks that I've made 3 Corsican gourds in there. So this has been really cool. It's kind of a more permanent take on the cattle panel trellises. I have chicken wire run up here, but there's 2x4 posts. But anyways, so we are going to be talking about what you can still be planting right now. For me, my first average frost date is October 27th, and that gives me between 70 and 80 days because you don't really know exactly when you're going to get your first frost. It could be sooner or later. Because I have at least 70 days left in my growing season, I have 3 categories that I can be planting right now in my garden. The temperatures are starting to get cooler, so it's actually really pleasant to be outside, and I encourage you to start a fall garden because you're going to not deal with nearly as many obstacles as you did maybe in your spring and summer garden. Because everything is going dormant, you're going to deal with less pest pressure, and that's awesome. And because of cooler temperatures, you won't have to battle the heat as much for watering. So I really encourage you, no matter what kind of summer season you've had, go ahead and plant a fall garden, because if you've seen my last video, I haven't had a great summer season, but I haven't given up hope. The 3 categories of things that you can still be planting in your garden right now are warm summer crops, so things like cucumbers and maybe like patty pan squash, or things that are quick turnaround crops that like the warm weather, but they take about 60-65 days to mature or less. And then the second category are cool season crops. Those are your things like your cabbage, your lettuce, broccoli, carrots. Those things will actually do better as they grow up into colder temperatures, especially lettuce. Lettuce tastes so much better if it's going into cold weather. And then the third category of things that you can be planting are things that you're going to overwinter. The most common is garlic. Last year I put a little low tunnel over a raised bed, and I actually grew lettuce and carrots and spinach, kale, all kinds of stuff like that over the winter. So you can definitely do that as well with just a little bit of protection in a lot of zones in the United States, and probably a lot of zones around the world too. Another thing is some people actually plant potatoes for like an early potato harvest in the early summer, and you've got your onions and things like that. So those are all things that you can be planting right now, and I'm going to talk about specifics. So don't push it too much to, if you have 75 days, don't plant something that takes 70-75 days. Maybe plant things that take about 60-65 days. Just give yourself, between a 7, 10, 14 day buffer, something like that. But if you aren't sure what will happen, just go ahead and throw them in the ground. You're definitely not going to get anything from them sitting in little seed packets. So may as well throw some in the ground and see what happens. You might have a later frost, you might have a plant that really matures quickly and starts producing quickly, so I encourage you to give it a go. So these 2 beans, I've got 2 varieties here that I'm going to be planting. I have Blue Lake pole bean here. These are just a really good green bean staple. They do need a trellis, so I am going to put them where they can climb. And then these here, I'm going to throw pictures up on the screen of all of them. These are Royal Burgundy bush beans. I do have some growing right now. I grew some of them over the winter and we tried them. I grew them inside and they were really good. So I'm going to try and get as many of these as I can. These are a bush bean variety, so I don't need to have them climb anything. So we're going to talk about cucumbers right now. Everything that I have in this box, I still have time to plant because I have between 70 and 80 days left in my growing season. And these are all things that take well under that. Because something that you also want to take into consideration is as the days get colder and shorter, things are going to take a little bit more time to mature. So the types of cucumbers that I'm going to be planting this fall, or right now is actually when I'm going to be planting them. We've got the Market More cucumber, Telegraph Improved, Muncher cucumber, Mexican sour gherkin, White Wonder cucumber, Wisconsin SMR, lemon, and homemade pickles. Homemade pickles actually says it takes 55 days, so I'm really excited, and I have a lot of seeds of that. So I don't even like pickles. My husband likes pickles a little bit. I think it'll just be a really fun experience, and maybe I can make them in a way that I actually do like them. The next thing we're going to be talking about are peas. So I've got a few different varieties here. We've got the Oregon Sugar Pod 2. These are snow peas. Got shelling peas here. Maybe I can some of these. The Green Arrow shelling peas. And then we grew some of these two varieties this spring, and John really liked them. We've got Cascadia Sugar Snap Peas and Sugar Magnolia Snap Peas, and these are purple, and these are really pretty. Next on the list, we are going to be talking about brassicas. We've got Scarlet Kale here. This is a really pretty deep purple. Feather Frills Kale. I want to talk about this early purple sprouting broccoli. For me, when I bought this packet of broccoli, I did not realize that I cannot grow it in my zone without protection. After reading the packet, it says that it needs to go through a winter, and it will not survive my winters. So if I go ahead and plant this, which I think I might, I'm going to have to give it some protection so it survives the winter, so then it continues growing next year. Cabbage is something that did not do well for me this year. I actually just pulled out all of my cabbage. It was really stunted and did not grow. If you want to hear why, you can go watch my last video. I'll link it down below. Unfortunately, I kind of don't have enough time for cabbage. I might put some of these in the ground, just see what happens. The varieties that I have here are Red Acre cabbage, Mammoth Red Rock cabbage, Savoy cabbage, and Copenhagen Market cabbage. And the Copenhagen Market cabbage says it takes between 65 and 80 days, so I might go ahead and plant this one. And again, if I plant this and we do end up getting really cold, I can just throw a sheet or some greenhouse fabric with over it for a night or two. I don't know, I would really like to get some cabbage, and I didn't get any this year, so I might just throw some of these in the ground and see what happens. For these Savoy cabbage seeds, I'm going to have to wait till next year because these say they take 80 to 110 days to mature. All of the other ones, like the Red Acre cabbage is 75 days, and the Mammoth Red Rock cabbage is 90. So I could potentially plant the Copenhagen Market, and potentially the Red Rock cabbage. If I have any extra spots available in my garden, I may as well just throw them in and see what happens, because they definitely won't give me anything in this box. We've got beets, turnips, and radishes in here, and it's actually not time to plant these yet. These say wait until 6 to 8 weeks before your first average fall frost, so I still have some time before I'm planting these. We've got bull's blood beets, black Spanish radish. We got 2 packets of these. I bought them from Botanical Interest and Emma Gardner, and I didn't realize that I bought the same thing twice. We've got Market Express turnip. I would really like to see the Market Express turnip and the round black Spanish radish together, because they're like the extremes. They're black and white. So that could be really interesting. And then we've got the rat's tail radish and the wasabi radishes. And next, I am really wanting to put these just absolutely everywhere, and these are carrots. I've got lots of different varieties of carrots here. I love growing carrots. I'm not particularly good at it, but I'm gonna try until I get it right. So we've got the Tonda di Parigi carrots. I thought these were just cute little carrot balls. We've got Cosmic Purple. These purple dragon carrots, I actually just harvested some of these small and put them in with potatoes, and we had them for dinner the other night, and they were really good and really pretty. So I definitely want to plant a lot of these. got a mystery bag of carrot seeds here that I found in, they were just loose in my one of my sweatshirt front pockets, so I just picked them out and put them in a bag. So they could be anything, any type of carrot seeds. And then we've got little finger carrots, coral carrot, and Pusa acida black carrots. So I will just be putting these everywhere that I can find space, in between things. You know, carrots are a really great thing to plant, like weaving in between other crops that you have that maybe might grow more upright, and just plant them in between them. I planted some carrots in between my peppers earlier this year, but it got too hot for them and they didn't really grow that well. I'm looking forward to hopefully having a big carrot harvest this fall. And this is my last category. This is the most common, I think, that people try to grow in the fall, and that is lettuce. I also have baby green spinach thrown in here too, as well as this lavewa spinach. I grew some of this over the winter and it did really well. We've got Merlot lettuce, multi-leaf lettuce, Great Lakes 118, Marvel of Four Seasons right here, and this is a lettuce that can actually take a little bit more heat, so I might try and plant some of this now and just see how it does. Because it can take more heat, I might have better luck with it starting it early and kind of have like 2 flushes of lettuce. A random pack of lettuce seeds, Butter Crunch Butterhead lettuce. This is probably my favorite. That along with Little Gem Butterhead lettuce. I just like the different Butterhead varieties. And then this is a pack of, this is a salad bowl mix that I got free with an M.I. Gardener order. We aren't big salad eaters at my house, but the chickens absolutely love lettuce, so I grow it mainly for them, but we'll eat some of it. And then come next month, it's going to be time to purchase all of your garlic cloves. I'm actually meeting a woman on Sunday that lives about 45 minutes away from me. I'm buying 3 pounds of garlic from her because my garlic harvest was not great this year. So I'm buying more seed garlic. And also, if you want to get your hands on some of the more fancy varieties that, say, Baker Creek, M.I. Gardener, Botanical Interests, Johnny Seeds, any of those places that they sell, like the fancier, like red varieties or purple varieties and whatnot, make sure that you're on their waiting list. Sometimes certain places you can have them, you can pre-order from them, but garlic seems to sell out like the same week that it's put for sale. So make sure that you know which varieties you want and hop right on that. September is the time to do that. But other than that, I am going to go plant some of these things in any little space that I can find. We harvested our potato bed, and again, got a pretty weak potato harvest, but we got about, you know, a big colander, a heaping colander full of them. So I'm just going to put all of those into cans because I don't want them to sprout before I can use them. There are a lot of little baby potatoes that have real tender skin, so they're not going to last long, so I am going to can those. That opened up an entire big space that I can plant things in for fall, so I'm excited about that. But let me know down in the comments what you guys are most excited to plant this fall in your fall garden, and tell me, you know, what successes you've had this summer, and if you're trying to redeem something that maybe didn't grow well for you this spring. I'd love to hear it. We grow with our successes and our failures, and raising each other up in this community and giving each other advice when something goes wrong. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you guys for hanging out with me as we talk about fall gardens. It's such a fun time to discuss gardening because we are all kind of sick of the heat and ready to go into cool weather. And so I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.